Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube Q&A. Let's bust through some questions in my backlog. The Psych Genius asks, after regaining for the first time, is it okay to feel extremely cold all the time? What does it indicate? So you might get a period back after HA for the first time and still have symptoms of low hormone function. You're not completely hormonally restored once you get your first period back. So most likely you still have some waiting to do, and that's okay. Wait it out, get more periods. It should improve time over time. Okay, another question is, how do we know how much food intake to increase by to account for the reintroduction of exercise? And what would incrementally adding in exercise look like? So I have a whole article about everything I've ever really published, I think, on exercise. So I'm just gonna link you to that. I think you should check it out. And we are working, I think, on a guide for how to reintroduce exercise. So make sure you're on our email list if you don't have that. But the reintroduction of exercise should definitely have your food at least stay the same, if not increase. Okay, Tiana says, I'm desperate. I got my first recovery period on August 12th, 2024. Then my second one on September 5th, and then my third cycle was really long, 48 days, so I got it on October 23rd, 3 days ago. My issue is that I developed a lot of acne under and on my chin, on my jawline, and some pimples on forehead here and there. I started to break out at the end of September, so I guess it was because my third period was late, and apparently I did something wrong again at that time. Thankfully, I got my third period, but I'm still getting acne. My cheeks are completely clear, so I say that my gut is really healthy as I take care of my nutrition. Now I eat a very balanced and without restrictions, but I have hormonal acne. Will my acne improve? It should improve, especially as you increase your progesterone levels a lot of the time. So if you have a short luteal phase, I would work on resolving your luteal phase and seeing if that helps with acne. I personally find that I get acne in the first half of my cycle, and then once I've ovulated and my progesterone is high, my skin is much nicer up until like when my period's about to begin. So people have like their own experiences with that. But if you're really having issues with it, I would get an HTMA test. So we do this hair tissue mineral analysis with clients. You could do a one-time consult with us, and we can look at your chart and your lab work and help you figure out what areas of your cycle need to be improved. And then we can run this HTMA test that helps fill in foundational mineral gaps. So potassium, magnesium, sodium, and calcium. And these ones in particular, potassium, and zinc, all of the minerals, they really help with skin. So if you can figure out which minerals you're low in, and if you can't, then I would recommend you just, find foods that are high in all of those foundational minerals and try upping them and seeing if it helps with your skin. So it can still be diet related. Not that there's anything wrong with your diet, but it can be that there's just gaps because of the history you had, right? If you've had HA for a long time, if you've been on hormonal birth control, medications, things like this, you're going to be depleted. Even if you're eating well now, you have like a backlog of mineral depletion that you need to actually work a little harder to fill. So we test clients for this often. If they're showing, like if their body's just not responding to standard food increases and introducing things that we can see on their food log that they're low in, if their body's not responding, we might test for those gaps and fill it, and acne is a common one with that. Okay. Bailey, I'm in recovery right now for 6 months, and I also got depression, but it started when I was 2 months into recovery. Do you think it's because of recovery? Bailey, I don't know. It certainly could be a hormonal shift if you made a bunch of changes. It could be a hormonal shift if you're not comfortable with the changes and it's like having to make changes to your exercise and your diet and your body changing and your clothes fitting. These can be triggering events that can be making you feel this way. It's also important to remember that, like, if you have reasons to feel down that are real, this is not depression necessarily. And then if you feel like you're really down for no reason at all, then that's something to look more at. But there are no correlations necessarily between HA and like getting your period back and then that being triggered. But this is a time for everyone and anyone to have a really strong support network, ideally a therapist, something like that, a coach. That's what we do, because the truth is this is really hard for a lot of people. And then Rena Loves Cats says, hey, I'm quite young and I've been struggling with period loss for 7 to 8 months and I'm recovering from over-exercise. However, I do still exercise and I started eating more. I don't know what to do and I'm scared about how all of this will affect my health. Do you have any suggestions? In addition to this, my exercise schedule is I walk 5 kilometers every day to school 5 days a week. I play football for 4 hours and 30 minutes per week. And I occasionally go to the gym. I weigh 60 kilos and I'm 5'8", and I know this may be a lot of exercise, but I'm still making progress. But I'm scared, what shall I do? So I don't know how young you are, so your height to weight ratio actually might be fine if you're like an early teenager. If you are late teens to early 20s, definitely keep an eye on that amount of exercise and the fact that your period is missing. You may need to back off the exercise, more likely. Or you need to up your food. Like, it's one or the other. And I have a feeling, Rena, like you have stories in your head about why you just don't want to make those changes and you're really happy with your body and the way that you're exercising and you just like don't want to change anything about it. But either you need to eat more or you need to exercise less. Which one it is, I don't know. Okay, let's do this one. Nina the Psych Genius says, hey Danny, I've been following your YouTube Q&As for a while and I decided to ask you a question. I hope you see this and answer in the future. Thanks in advance. I had HA for 8 months. I consulted a gynecologist who prescribed the pill. I bought it, but I never took it since I wanted to recover it naturally. I recovered my period in October and I made some lifestyle health choices and I followed your tips on YouTube. I had it for 6 days and now in November, it's already 30 days late. I feel really frustrated because I was doing my best not to get stressed. But I guess inevitably, I did get stressed during exam time. Yet, I was hopeful it would come back because I was definitely ovulating. The past month, I experienced cervical mucus, mild cramps, headaches, fatigue, and mood swings. And I constantly feel like I've started my period, but there's no bleed. I suppose that's a ghost period? I decreased my workouts significantly. This month I only did yoga 3 times, and yesterday I was doing yoga poses specifically meant for inducing periods. But clearly it hasn't worked. I appreciate you getting back to me, and I wanted to add that I felt extremely cold after the first period. So that's like the first question in the video. That should pass over time with consistent cycling. I don't know about ghost periods. I don't think those are real. I think sometimes we read into our bodily changes because we are still trying to recover and our body's trying to ovulate, not having enough, backing off. It takes a while sometimes to get started, like an old car that hasn't run for a bit. And so you feel the symptoms and the signs of those hormonal fluctuations and imbalances happening, but you don't necessarily have the period yet because your body's not ready for it at this stage, or you actually haven't quite got enough food coming in yet to build the uterine lining. I don't know where you're at. I haven't looked at your case specifically. That's definitely something I can answer if I know you better. But I would say that yoga poses are not going to do anything. And if you're trying to get your period back through like anything but eating more and increasing your weight, then you're probably going to get really stuck. This is definitely, those are all helpful things for different reasons, but you can't skip the phase of letting your body get up to set weight and staying there, keeping that there. I think this answers your question, but let me know if it doesn't and we could keep talking about it. And then we've got, how about Maria? Hi, Danny. I love your videos and your no BS approach. Thanks. I'm 19 and I've been struggling with a restrictive ED for 2 years from the age of 15. I recovered and I would say that I have a fairly healthy relationship with food now. However, I'm pretty athletic. I do a lot of self-defense and running. I was able to recover my period on and off for about 2 years, and it came back after going all in during ED recovery. Then I lost it again due to falling back into old habits. I lost it again twice after recovering through hard work, eating insane amounts of nuts particularly, and now again due to training for a half marathon and a breakup. I don't know if that was also a stressor. I know I should stop exercising again, and I will, since I've reached my goal now. However, I'm so worried since my recovery process is taking so long. I feel like it's either put my entire life on hold and have a period, or do the things I'm passionate about and always live in fear of losing it. I don't want to give up, but I also want to enjoy my life, partying and reaching goals in my 20s. I'm a bit lost with the process. I think this is a good question. I was also in my 20s, but I was in my mid to late 20s. This is a big deal because you're right. There's a lot you want to get done in your 20s. But here's the thing. This is a question. Are you saying, Maria, and anyone else who resonates with this, because it's the same with your 30s, like you don't want to miss out on your 30s, you don't miss out on your late 20s, all these things. Are you saying that you cannot be happy and passionate and have fun if you are not in a restricted state? Meaning, if you want to do exercise, try it, but I guarantee you have not tried eating enough. And you may have increased your food a little bit and been like, this is what I'm comfortable increasing it to, and my period's not back yet, so now what do I do? No, you need to actually eat. If you are passionate about your exercise, you will have no problem eating as soon as you wake up, eating your snacks, filling in your nutritional gaps. You will have no problem with it. You won't care if you need to gain some weight if it's really about doing your activities. But it's not, because you have this history of an ED. So we know based on that a lot of your decision making is about how it will affect whatever it is that your ED doesn't like. If it's a healthy eating based ED, if it's a body weight, shape, thinness based ED, we know that the issue is actually upsetting that. So what you're saying is you would like to be happy in your 20s with your ED behaviors existing in the capacity that they do, so that you can keep having your cake and eat it too. No. If you're really passionate about that stuff, you will eat and you will back off of some of the amount of exercise that you might be doing. I hope that helps. I could talk about that all day, so I am going to stop myself. But yeah, you have to keep asking yourself every time you question, like, should I be sick or should I be happy? I mean, it's a choice. People choose it all the time. It's 100% a choice. Do whatever you want. I don't actually care if you choose to be sick. I'm here to help the people who choose to be healthy and who are choosing this path for themselves. I'm here for those people. I'm not saying there is no one stopping you from choosing the other path. So if you're here and listening to this and going into all this information, you obviously want to be healthy. That's what you actually want. That's what you're actually passionate about. And you're just at a crossroads because you're not used to having to make choices between the things that you love and want to do. Well, welcome. This is going to happen again in other areas of your life. One day you're going to have to make choices that leaves, like when you say yes to something, you say no to something else. Always. That's how it works. You say yes to this, means you're saying no to this. You're saying yes to going out with your friends, means you're saying no to staying at home and chilling. It's just logical, right? So when you're saying yes to ED type voices, behaviors, when you're saying yes to your passion for exercise, you're saying no to actually being healthy, and you're choosing that. And that's okay, right? People choose to be unhealthy all the time, right? So you just have to have a heart-to-heart with yourself. What do you really want? What do you really want? And take pride in your ability to let go of something that you love, and it's temporary. Please, people, it is temporary. And if you're in your early 20s, I don't even want to hear about. Your teens, your early 20s, I don't even want to hear about. You're running out of time, right? So you're not running out of time for anything. And I'll tell you right now, going through HA doesn't ruin anyone's life. It makes your life better. And this is what is so funny. So many people are like in this weird belief mindset that like, if I go through recovery, I'm going to end up unhappy. I'm going to end up fat and unhappy. That's not how that works, okay? Might you be uncomfortable in your body at some stage? Yeah. If you do the work and reap all the benefits, I specifically remember being like, oh my gosh, I can have 10 more pounds and be this happy, this relaxed, this spontaneous, this fun. Absolutely. If that helps. Thanks, guys. If you want to submit a question for this show, I just like am busting through the backlog right now. So please comment below, and I'll see you guys next week for another Q&A.